Okay guys, so it's Max here, and in this video, well, it's a bit confusing really. So, I do have a video later coming out about solar, and installing that, and this was all part of it, what I'm going to put in this video, but it didn't really make sense because it was like how to install solar and then I talk about all the internal electrics. So I have done a wiring diagram video which I'll put in the card up here. So this will kind of be a part 2, as you may have noticed by the title. It's part 2, and this is going to be actually installing the electrics, which I've already filmed. It's part of the solar video, so I'm now integrating it into this video, and I'm gonna, yeah, basically that's what this video is. And if you're wondering where I am, it's as bright as I can get the camera, I'm sorry, but I'm in my bedroom, the van. It's very nice. This is the other van, of course, Harry Potter and tea, and video editing. This is going to be how to wire your 12 volts. Okay guys, so it's the next day. As you can tell, it's nice and sunny. So as it's nice and sunny, we're obviously working on the van again, but we are doing the inside now. As I said in the last time, we're not doing the solar panel until it gets resprayed. I think I showed you briefly what the wiring was doing before, up to this main part, and now we've mounted this. And we've mounted the fuse box over there, and basically you've got these big bolts coming out of the coming out of the isolator switch. That's the word. We got one big thick-ish cable, the thickest one we had, going into there, and then we've got 4 thinner cables coming out and going into the fuse box for each appliance that we'll need plugging in. And then the grounding wire I showed you, and here it is. It's bolted here, and you've got the little wing nut at the bottom here, so you can just undo it. But what I'm doing now is installing 2 of the fuses and wiring it over there, and it will go up to the 12 volt and USBs, which I'll show you now as I did the box yesterday. So over here is the other side of the bed. Under there is the wheel arch. As you can see, there's all the stuff. Comes along, goes under there, through the bed, and the cable comes up here and goes into the back of the MT50 charge controller monitor thing off Bimble Solar. All of this is off Bimble Solar. Well, this isn't. I know you can get them off Bimble Solar, but this one was off eBay. So we got 2 USBs there and a 12 volt socket there, and that is going to be mounted here, so you can easily see it. There's going to be a shelf there, so you'll be able to charge your laptop, and the cable won't have to go far. And this is going to go down the side of the bed, down like that, and then it will be into the bottom of the box like that, and it'll all be powered. This one's a nice and thick conduit because it's going to have this, and then 2 dual core cables off Bimble Solar. By the way, this is just a simple box made out of 12mm ply with a 6mm face on it, so it doesn't stick out even more. And then it's these normal spade connectors that will go into the conduit, and these, as you can see, aren't screwed in yet because I'm just going to take them off again and screw the batten into the wall, and then that's how that is going to be fixed. There's going to be a top bit of conduit coming out and going to a main ceiling light. Okay, so here is the box all in place. It's not screwed in yet, just so I can show you, and then I'm going to be screwing it in place. So this one is the USBs. It goes to a 5 amp fuse, because I learned that. So that's a 1 amp, add 2 amp, 2.1 amp, so that's basically 3.1 amps in total, but the lowest fuse is a 5 amp, so that's what we're going for that. And then this is a 10 amp because The laptop charger we're going to be using says it draws a maximum of 8 amps, so a 10 amp fuse will be good for that. I think this wire is rated at about 20 amps or nearish enough, so that should all be good. Then there's also a 10 amp fuse going to the lighting, which we haven't got the thinner conduit, as I mentioned earlier, to go in here, so this is just for attaching on later on, and then this literally goes in here easily. You can read all your battery meters and everything as you normally would be, and then there's the little light showing it's all working, and yeah, it's all good. I'll show you underneath quickly and then I'll be screwing it all back in. So here's the underneath. I'm just about to put some masking tape on the cables for the fuse over here, so we know which one's the lights, which one's the 12 volt and which one's the USBs. Okay, so by the way, if you want a really in-depth guide, I mean, I directed you to the indie projects in the last one. I'll link their video up here, but a really helpful one I found out that I know he describes all the fuse amperages and everything, and it's really like, he tries to do it really basically, but I'm not sure everyone would get it, but it's pretty easy to understand. But it's basically, I'll put it up there, and he goes through it amazingly. He doesn't have a solar panel, but he has got the split charge relay. So if you want to know that, he does, because I never understood split charge relays until I watched that video, so that just really helped. And yeah, so just go watch that and you'll know pretty much most of the things about everything after the charge controller. So yeah, good luck. Okay guys, so I'm generously blinding myself just for a second so I can show you what we've done, well, since the light's gone down. Under here we have pretty much the same. We have one more fuse in because now we're doing the lights. There is a chock block that breaks off to do the different lightings, and when you turn that on, it activates obviously, and then bingo, we have a little switch here. Does lights, LED lights under there, and then there's some under the kitchen, which is basically just the same, a switch. All the lights branch off the same fuse, which is just a simple 10 amp fuse I explained earlier. And yeah, it's just a nice little switch there that is kind of right for the garage kind of thing. You can check the voltage, which at the moment is 12.4, because there's no solar panel connected. And then obviously isolate it because we don't want it on, especially that there's no solar panel. And I'll take that. But yeah, now it's just time for packing up. I haven't been filming, but mainly because, again, it's very concentrated, a lot of soldering. Also, we went somewhere and then came back, so yeah. But it's still the same day, so we've done all of that. That white cable there goes all the way along, and into the side kind of there you can kind of see there's another chock block, because we're going to have another branch going off to overhead lights, which will be explained later on in this video, but on a different weekend. The hose is held up with the same kind of hose clamps. They're really useful, these kind of clamps. They literally, because they lock shut, so nothing can come out, so you can bunch wires up like I've done here and add more wires and later take some wires out. It's really kind of a fixable way of doing things. But that'll be it for today. Okay guys, so big update. So we went to the Greg for Go meetup, so if you haven't seen that video, go check that out up in the card up there. But we've had a lot of ideas from that, and we spoke to people, as you do. You get to ask them questions, and you learn a lot more because you get to ask people directly things, you get to see things in more detail. Anyway, so we asked a lot of people about spraying vehicles and what they painted, and we've decided now, and we also, beyond the Valmus who was going to spray it, but he's now like almost doubled his price, and we're like, well, it's not worth it anymore. So we are going to roller this like in springtime. But today, so we're doing more lighting, and if you have a look what we're doing, we put a couple of hooks up over there. But so we're going to have copper pipe coming up here, going to a little adjustable spotlight reading light thing, and it's going to go across, and there's going to be 2 recessed lights in here, one like above the cooker and one above this area here. It's going to be a little T-joint to separate them. It's going to be a shelf here, that's why it's going to be up there. Matches the wallpaper nicely. But yeah, so I've left all the choc blocks and stuff available, so it's easy to add things. So under there's a choc block where I joined off the lights here, which obviously aren't in yet because we haven't got the solar panel. So I just attach a couple of wires to that, bring the cables up the copper conduit, split it off, branch it off, build a box for that, come across, do that, because this one's working nicely. So just before I do the time lapse, well, this is all the stuff needed to build the little box, exactly the same as this one. And basically, on this one I used 12mm because I seemed to be blind the day I built this, which I would have liked to use 9mm, but it's actually a bigger box, so it's not big of a deal. Whereas this is a tiny box, it's literally just to fill that and a little switch like that, so it's going to be tiny. So there's a bit of 9mm and then there's 6mm on the face, which is the same as that box over there, and then some small little screws, obviously tape measure, and then pilot hole and drill bit as you need. So yeah, I'm gonna cut all this together, screw it all together, and the way I attach it to the wall is inside the box. There's like I screw inside a bit of batten to the walls, top and bottom, or left and right, depending on what's most efficient for that specific box, and then screw that batten in and then put the face on last. So then you just get the nice 4 screws around the edge, and then the 4 screws fixing it around the edges. So yeah, let's do this. Okay, so I'm back with a bit more, and I've done a lot. So here is what you saw. The meter and the 12V and USBs are installed. So that is good. Then I've also installed this light, which turns on when it's not isolated. As you know, we put an isolate switch in. And I'm also doing the bed light with all the copper conduit. And I'm also putting some recessed lights in for the kitchen area as well. Yeah, don't yeah, when your wire strippers break, because I had some ones that surprisingly last about 2 years, I think. But when you use a Stanley knife to cut the wire and it goes to your thumb, it's not so fun, really. I'm probably completely out of focus, but you know, it's painful. I'll tell you that. Oh, and also, Kat just got up and just started chilling with me, because you know, he does that a lot recently, especially now we move rooms, as you will have known. But anyway, back to work with a bad thumb, and stop messing things up, because I just messed another thing up and now I've lost a bit of copper. There's a little bit of copper that joins those 2 bits there. I can't find it. Anyway, time lapse. Okay guys, so what I've just done, as you know, when you turn that on, there you go, I got my lights already turned on. So we had the battery just sat there and things could drop on it and stuff. So now we've made a little platform, but if you ever needed to get it out for any reason, to maintenance it, or to look, or to disconnect or connect something, it's as easy as just lifting this up. And it's got a little piece of wood there, which latches onto the end of that bit. So that just stops it sliding out, not that it would because it's quite a tight fit. And then you got that, which stops it coming forward. So it goes on like that. And then it just looks like a very nice box that it looked like it's screwed together, but it's not. Because we do need to take it out because there's no solar panel going to the charge controller at the moment. So the battery's going to die. But I've got my little solar panels in my room and I'm going to keep it topped up in there. So it's going to need to come out, and to do that you can like remove the jack, slide it out, take it out, and then bingo. Another thing we've done, I'll just go around to show you, and then ta-da!
Oh, there it is.
Fairy lights from Bimble Solar. when you open this, if I give you a little bit more light, there's some in there too. And then if I reduce the light again, and then bingo, it gives you a lot of nice warming light. And then you've seen this one, but I'll show you it anyway. And then we got that one, and then you look around, the solar panel's not doing too well, but there, and of course there. And you've got the lamps on the little shelf as well. You can buy one in the description. And yeah, it all looks good. We've got the tiles on, and obviously you've got this one in here as well, which lights up that and the other cupboard. We've had to do some door reducing in sizes because it's winter and they've all expanded as well. But they all work now. And you can do that. And this one turns off from a little switch in here, so all of them go out. Then this one off, and this one off, and this one off. And he'll get happier. Anyway, so that's what we've done so far. We still haven't got the solar panel up. Probably won't be for another 4 months something. So yeah, and then once we do, then we can, when we go away, we can use all the solar and tea.